Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Bagus Ian Saputra. I'm from Group 4. Today I will explain about cooperation and implicator. Yang pertama adalah cooperation. Cooperation sendiri adalah bentuk kerjasama antara pembicara dan pendengar pada saat melakukan komunikasi dengan tujuan pembicara menyampaikan pernyataan yang benar dan tidak lebih dari apa yang dibutuhkan oleh pendengar. Selanjutnya yaitu tentang implicator. Implicator ini dibahas pada bab 5 bukunya George Yule. Yule menggabungkan pembahasan tentang implicator ini dengan cooperative principle atau prinsip kerjasama karena ada saling keterikatan antara keduanya. Di sini prinsip kerjasama karena prinsip kerjasama menekankan pada efektivitas pada komunikasi dan implikator adalah maksud yang terkandung pada ujaran, di mana keduanya saling berhubungan. Di sini juga Yule menyampaikan implicator can be considered as an additional conveying meaning. Di situ Yule bilang implicator dapat dianggap sebagai tambahan makna yang disampaikan oleh penutur terhadap petutur atau terhadap pendengar. Hal ini dicapai ketika seseorang pembicara bermaksud untuk mengkomunikasikan lebih dari sekedar apa yang dimaksud. Oleh karena itu, antara pembicara dan pendengar harus memenuhi konteks yang sama atau punya konteks yang sama. Pembicara yang mengkomunikasikan sesuatu melalui implicator dan pendengar mengenali maknanya atau mengindikasi maknanya yang dikomunikasikan oleh penyampai atau pembicara melalui inference. Inference sendiri sudah dibahas oleh kelompok 1 pada pertemuan kedua kalau tidak salah. Sebagai contoh implikator adalah contohnya ada 2. Yang pertama ada implikator percakapan umum. Ada percakapan antara Anggi dan Amel. Anggi mengatakan, "Saya harap kamu buat kopi dan susu." Dan Amel menjawab, aku buatkan kopi." Di sini Anggi menuturkan atau mengimplikator Amel untuk membuatkan antara kopi dan susu, di mana makna yang dimaksud adalah hanya kedua itu, kopi dan susu. Dan Amel menjawab, aku buatkan kopi. Berarti implikator ini sudah tersampaikan karena Anggi mengimplikatorkan sesuatu terhadap Amel dan Amel menginferensikan dengan baik. Percakapan kedua adalah percakapan implikator secara khusus atau kedua pihak, pembicara dan pendengar, sudah memiliki konteks yang sama atau saling mengetahui. Di sini ada percakapan antara Kai dan John. Kai berbicara kepada John, Hey John, apakah kamu datang ke pesta nanti malam? Dan John menjawab, "Halo Kai, orang tuaku akan datang." Di sini Kai mengajak Johnson untuk datang ke pesta nanti. Pada umumnya John harus menjawab iya atau tidak. Di sini John menjawab, "Halo Kai, orang tuaku akan datang." Di situ kan kalau orang yang tidak satu konteks atau tidak saling mengetahui, maka mereka tidak tahu apa yang dimaksud oleh John. Karena Kai dan John ini sudah memiliki konteks yang sama, jadi Kai berpikiran untuk ketika John bilang orang tuaku akan datang, berarti John akan menghabiskan waktu pesta itu untuk berkumpul dengan orang tuanya. Cukup.
I'm here to explain about principles cooperative. Ada 2 prinsip kooperatif yang terdapat di materi yang kami kerjakan. Pertama, speakers general adds to the cooperative principles. This means in the communication, the speaker should provide relevant and the correct information to the listener and ensure to make the conversation run smoothly and meaningfully in the context of the communication or discussion. Information or details that are considered relevant are those that have importance or the relevance in the understanding or making discussion related to the topics in the discussion. Relevant information helps in explaining, supporting, or providing necessary insight in a particular context. 2. Listener, or generally, assumes the speakers adheres to the principles. This means that in communication, listener tend to assume that the speakers is endeavoring to speak honestly, provide relevant information, and not create confusion. Uh, and adhering to the comparative principles in communication is a basic principle that refers to the expected behavior the speakers, the person speaking, and the listener, the person listening, in a conversation. The principles was first proposed by philosophers and linguist Paul Gage in his theory of speech arts. For example, if Alice says that Bill is in absence and Carol replies that Bill has a cold, then there is an implication that the cold is the reason, or at least a possible reason, for Bill's absence. This is because Carol's comment is uncomparative. It does not contribute to the conversation, unless she means the Bill's cold is or maybe the reason for his absence. This is discussion specifically in the maxim of the relevance. Thank you.
The next material is about floating maxim. The first, what is this floating the maxim? Floating the maxim is a cooperative speaker can intentionally disobey a maxim as long as she or he or the context provides enough indicator for the hearer to notice it. This is called floating a maxim and is used to indirectly convey information, for example, using sarcasm or irony. Or in any definition, the floating maxim is the speaker desires the greatest understanding in his or her recipient because it is expected that the interlocutor is able to uncover the hidden meaning behind the utterance. So there are four types of floating maxim, namely floating maxim quality, quantity, relevance, and manner. So next, I can explain more one by one the floating maxim. The first, floating the maxim of quality. I want to give you example about the floating maxim of quality. So this is a conversation between teacher and student. So teacher to a student who arrives late more than 10 minutes to the class meeting. And the teacher said, "Wow, you are such a punctual fellow, welcome to the class." And the student said, "Sorry sir, it won't happen again." It is obvious from what the teacher says that he is teasing the student and his purposes, by no means praising him. He exploits the maxim quality, being truthful to be sarcastic. Okay, next about the floating the maxim of quantity. I want to give you example. The conversation between Majid and Ali about floating the maximum quantity. This is Majid and Ali are talking on the phone. So Ali said, "Where are you, Majid?" And Ali answering, "I'm in my clothes." So in this conversation, Majid tell the truth because it is expected that the people are always in some clothes, yet he floats the maxim of quantity because the information is insufficient for all. Okay. Next, about the floating maxim of relevance. I want to give you example more about floating the maxim of relevance. This is conversation between Bobby and Mary. So Bobby said, "What were you and Anna talking about? You were looking at me all the time." And Mary said, "Oh, well, why don't we go get something to drink?" In this conversation, Mary answered Bob's question with a suggestion in an obvious attempt to evade it, perhaps to avoid hurting Bob's feelings. Hence, she floats the maxim of relevance. And the last, it is about floating the maxim of manner. So I want to give you example. The last example about floating the maxim of manner. This is a conversation about the wife and husband. The wife said, "Darling, what's the story with that new watch on your wrist?" And husband said, "Oh, this watch you're talking about? I knew it. I told my dad that my wife will be serious when she sees it. Oh, honey, you have no idea how much they're satisfied with my performance lately." In conversation, the husband would be better off if he told his wife from the beginning not to conversation than his boss when he realized the watch was a gift from a person that she also knew, and there is no need for jealousy.
I will explain my material. The material is hedges. A hedge is a mitigating device used to lessen the impact of an utterance. Typically, they are adjectives or adverbs, but can also consist of clauses. It could be regarded as a form of euphemism. Example: there might just be a few insignificant problems we need to address is an adjective. The party was somewhat spoiled by the returns of the parents is adverb. And the last, I'm not an expert but you might want to try restoring your computer is a clauses. Pagar lindung nilai adalah alat mitigasi yang digunakan untuk mengurangi dampak suatu ujaran. Biasanya berupa kata sifat atau keterangan, tetapi bisa juga terdiri dari klausa. Itu bisa diangkat juga sebagai bentuk eufemisme. Contohnya, yang pertama mungkin hanya ada beberapa masalah kecil kita perlu mengatasinya, itu kata sifat. Yang kedua, pestanya agak dimanjakan dengan kembalinya orang tua, itu kata keterangan. Dan yang terakhir, saya bukan ahlinya tetapi Anda mungkin ingin mencobanya merestart komputer Anda, itu adalah klausa.
Anti-catcher. Anti-catcher can be considered as an additional caveat, meaning July 1996. It's attended when a speaker is intends to communicate more than just word than the words mean. It's the speaker who communicates something where implicator and the listener recognize those communicate meanings via inference. The implicator, the term accounts for what a speaker can imply and guess or mean. From what the speaker literally, implicator is one of the ways that one profession can be can be conveyed by a speaker. Uttering implicature is a technical term which refers to what is guessed is an utterance, even though neither expressed nor strictly implied. For example of implicature is John is meeting a woman in evening. The woman John is meeting this evening is not his mother, his sister, or his wife. Types of implicature includes two types. 1. Conventional implicature. 2. Conventional implicature. Just two types of implicature.